Choip, choip, choip. Choip, choip, choip.
Life is too short to drink cheap beer.
Please stop advocating drinking and speedrunning. But you have to admit that's a great catchphrase. Unfortunately, our friend Marty doesn't seem like the type to become a gaming mascot. Okay, wait, maybe it can work. Because, perhaps stereotypically, I'm comparing him to Duke Nukem right now in my head. Or wait, maybe he's just a metal version of Sonic. Oh wait, that's a sticking point. That's what Knuckles is already. Is that Knuckles' hand? The premise is just as good as the catchphrase. Marty is a drinker of beer. But your peaceful session is interrupted by the devil who steals your beer. See, they already have the beginnings of a stoner comedy. Marty then attacks and manages to sever his arm, to replace his that was also lost during the altercation. And this new arm gives him magical powers that he uses to chase the devil across various obstacle courses and speedruns. Obviously, the game is metal in terms of visuals and music. It employs a nice triumphant metal instead of aggressive, kind of an older school metal, I believe. It accentuates the speed, makes you feel epic. A nice build up to bob to, and then the triumphant quality comes in with some severe guitar wailing. But there aren't many tracks. I believe they are good enough that you won't get tired of them. Unless of course you play for a lot longer than I did. Or if you hate metal. If you do, thank you for staying so long. On to the visuals. Just look at that pretty yet irrationally massive skeleton. So it has nice elements, but there are issues enough to call the visuals a mixed bag. Firstly, as far as I can tell, there are only 5 different regions. And thus only 5 different scenic vistas to stare at. And 3 out of 5 of them are employed in most of the levels. Sure, there are a lot of situations where this wouldn't be that much of a problem. But the game was very noticeably created using a toolset. One that is included if you want to create your own levels, by the way, as I believe a great many people have done. And subsequently the floors and walls, etc., anything you presumably will spam a lot of while you're making a map, don't have that many textures. And very noticeably the textures will start repeating. Especially if you see a whole lot of them from far away. So that aspect of the visuals can get a bit samey and grating, barren at times. And there may be other things you notice, but otherwise it looks nice. Filled with spikes and menace. Even the vistas, although not plentiful, do look nice. The strange scale I mentioned just now is lovely. In this region I believe we're inside of a cauldron. Brewing cream soda, presumably. There isn't really a story, apart from the wonderful premise and the odd comment from Marty, and usually those comments are about the level. So the gameplay is the meat, more specifically the bacon, of this game. Ding ding tsh! Mild wordplay. You run, jump, shoot, power up your way through a whole lot of levels. There are no enemies, just environmental hazards. Usually the levels are short and over quite quickly. Try to get good times to earn silver and gold medals. Or slow down and try and find the beer and bacon hidden across the levels. And searching for those collectibles by far and away comprised most of my game time. If you're going to play this game and you're not into rummaging for secrets and finding collectibles, then your playtime will probably be quite a bit shorter. Other than the collectibles, there's the odd other secret, such as hidden QR codes to scan with your phone. I only scanned one of them and it took me to the music video for Firestarter on YouTube. And spoiler alert, that code was located on a level called Firestarter. And I don't know if the other codes also lead you to creepy music videos. But I believe we all should acknowledge just how unique and strange that gameplay decision was. I believe that probably the last time I saw a secret tie into a QR code on a game was Fez. And the last time I played that was in 2015. And I didn't get it then. The hidden bacon and beers weren't that hard to find. I believe I only required a walkthrough to find 2 of them across the main campaign. So those give you a nice brisk challenge. Usually they won't make you pull your hair out. Sure, sometimes it would take a while and frustrate you, but that leads to added satisfaction. And then, utilizing quite a different skill set, we go on to the speedrunning segment of the gameplay. Which is fun. Earning the medals can be easy on some levels and very tricky on others. especially when it requires usage of a mechanic or power-up in combination with another, or ways that they really didn't explain to you. And you have to figure those out through experimentation and deduction. And the only reason you know you're missing something is the fact that this level has to be completed in this amount of time to earn the medal. And they probably wouldn't have made the level impossible. That and the power-ups given to you are the only clues you get. Sometimes you earn a gold medal the first time you try a level. Other times you replay it so many times, it makes me reconsider whether hunting for bacon is the major time sink here. Maybe this just feels faster because of the short length of the runs. Because they're usually measured in seconds. Seconds of mad dashing, teleporting, flying and dying. Sometimes through impalement. Compared to the laborious combing for the trickier secrets, that will usually take you quite a few minutes. But ultimately still fun, finally finding what you're looking for. Or step by step, shaving off seconds. And the movement controls are rather simple and intuitive. Movement keys to move, spacebar to jump, plus left click and right click. It's all down to you, you can't really blame complex inputs. There are other buttons, but they're more like novelties. Finally, on the gameplay front, there are the Haikus, the final main campaign levels, and they are only unlocked through solving Haiku Riddles that hint at a task you must complete on a certain level to make this cube transform into a portal that will transport you to the hidden level. That is a lot of effort, and they pertain to the more novelty side of things I mentioned, such as swimming like a fish on this level. I honestly maybe figured out 2 of them on my own, and then did one after reading the walkthrough. At the very least, I required help in figuring out how to swim. By this point, I was spent. There were more Haiku levels to complete, bonus campaigns, a fun endless mode, but I was sated. So, if this highly focused gameplay, where you complete a lot of levels in a short amount of time, didn't drain you, you'll find even more content there as well as a longer game time than I had. It took me 15 hours to complete the main campaign with all collectibles, gold medals, and some Haiku levels. And I got a very slight taste of the other content available. A bit of endless mode and a little bit of one of the levels in the bonus campaign. It is cheap on Steam, 159 Rand full price, 52.47 on sale. That's 3 Rand 50 per hour of gameplay, which is pretty good. Not amazing, but pretty good. Especially if you think you'll be able to make use out of more of the content than I did. But also, on the other hand, please bear in mind, if you don't think you'll go after the medals as hard, or the beer and bacon, then this isn't as good a deal for you. If you think you'll just rush through the levels until they're all complete, it probably will be a very short game. Simply completing a level is not that hard. In fact, usually it's not hard at all. And to download, the game isn't that bad, as it only takes up 1.8 gigabytes on the hard drive. Not the best download, but it's not bad. But it doesn't really work on the Warhorse, I mean it lags ferociously on the level select screen. I did play a level and it was surprisingly smooth though. There was definitely lag and a delay in response, which is bad for this kind of game that involves quick platforming. But me back in the day, before I had a proper setup, often playing games that lagged, would have found this quite playable. But realistically, it won't be for most people. I even retested it recently, and it crashed on the Warhorse, and lowering the graphical settings didn't seem to do much. So here are the game specifications. Carefully consider whether you'll be able to play it. You're going to need something stronger than the Warhorse to play this properly. Stereotypically, some kids can handle it. Blood is only used to decorate some walls and flooring. But sure, there is some swearing, and it's beer-based. So not that kid-friendly, but some kids can handle it. But fair warning, I don't know what the other QR codes will send you to. This game has a great premise. Marty is a fun character and everything. I mean, I pronounce it SEUM, and he pronounces it
Welcome to SEUM.
The game has great, fast, and lovely obstacle course gameplay. And as you play, new power-ups and concepts are delivered to you, and combined to create new mechanics. And figuring out how to get to grips with these mechanics, and use them in certain levels combined with the Haikus and secrets, does give a nice bit of puzzle and exploration gameplay, in short, nice bursts. Well, the secrets don't take such a short time as mentioned. Plus, searching for secrets is fun, and lets you use quite a different skill set. The game has a good metal soundtrack, a more epic, triumphant type of metal, An older school, and at the very least less aggressive, that amplifies the speed, makes you feel epic, it melds with the gameplay, it doesn't distract you but it's always noticeable. But there aren't many tracks in the game, and I guess it can get repetitive for some people, especially if you play for longer or don't like metal. But I honestly loved it, in spite of repeatedly hearing those tracks. And this game does have a whole lot of content for those who want more. Bonus campaigns, level editor, Steam Workshop, and endless mode that perhaps offers an opportunity to play this game as an in-between game. On the maybe side, there's no story really to go with that great premise. Also, this game is a very focused experience, almost singular. Obstacle course after obstacle course. The secrets and the odd time when figuring out what to do can feel a bit puzzling are the only distractions from this gameplay. And lastly, I'm gonna put this as a maybe. The visuals are kind of a mixed bag. The scenic vista backgrounds are good, the metal design is good, and I suppose technically the graphics are kind of good. But on the other hand, there aren't that many of those vistas. The toolset used to create the game doesn't offer many textures on the blocks placed, meaning oftentimes the textures repeat, and at worst they can look barren, samey, grungy, plain, maybe even ugly. Especially when you're looking at something from far away, made up of a lot of the same block, stacked next to each other without interruption. Come on, play it, and see yet another unjust, unfair example of modern media being mean to Clippy. What did they ever do that was so bad other than question our ability to use Microsoft Office? Clippy should be acknowledged as the international icon they are. Step aside, Cortana. Also, sorry for slagging off Cortana.
Choip, choip, choip. Choip, choip, choip.